And so that brings us to the next story. Oh, man. I know this is going to shock you so much. I know you're all going to be... Listen, I just don't know what to... Is there no one left you can put your faith in? Is there no one left? Think about all the people I look up to. And it's just so disheartening when so many of your heroes turn out to be negative people. It's just... How will I ever recover? So this was the headline over in Wired by Cecilia D'Anastasio, who obviously is the journalist that broke the original Riot Games sexism story. She's going to be leaving Wired soon. She's going to be hooking up with Jason Cryer to make a super team over at Forbes, I believe. So she's in like her last month, I think, at the company. So this is going to be one of the last stories that she works on. But you can see here the headline: Riot Games is investigating a top esports team founder over bullying allegations. Allegations! That's all they are. Andy Reginald Din, the founder and CEO of TSM, has been accused of verbal abuse and bullying by employees and esports pros. So, one of the esports industry's most prominent leaders is under investigation for workplace misconduct. Current and former employees and esports pros have accused Team Solo Mid's founder and CEO, Andy Din, of verbally abusing and bullying them. Sources tell Wired. Riot Games, which operates the League of Legends Championship Series in which TSM competes, launched an investigation late last year into Din's behaviour. TSM also confirmed that it launched its own investigation around the same time. So you'll remember we did a Four Horsemen episode talking about this, and it was over, the double lift stuff. Just to give you the lay of the land, TSM is valued as a $410 million company or something in Forbes, which is just laughable. I don't really understand that, but I don't understand how you get to that number, but okay. It's almost like esports is a load of shit. But anyway, just for a bit of background on that, Double Lift came out and said that he'd been had a negative experience with Reginald, that he'd been bullied by Reginald. This was after he obviously had been at TSM and left TSM. And also, if you remember, Double Lift himself had created a big brouhaha because he dates Reginald's ex, who was also the president of TSM, because this is a very serious company. This is a very serious multi-million-dollar corporation here, and not just an extension of high school. So we did a Four Horsemen on all of that, and naturally, people or the TSM fans came out and like, you're just biased against TSM. No, I just think they engage in terrible business practices. You just hate Reginald because he's got more money than you. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But he lacks the imagination on how to spend it. So in many ways, it's a poison chalice, isn't it? So to spend it well, I mean, of course. I'm sure he will spend it. But anyway, so look, down the years, we have seen video footage of Reginald being truly horrendous to people. And it's interesting because at that time, and I'll give you some examples, I remember coming out, because back then I used to comment on League of Legends stuff, because, I was allowed to have my content posted on Reddit. So it was worth it for the numbers. It wouldn't even be worth it for the numbers now. Reddit is a failure across the board. But anyway, there was footage of him shouting at the back of Dyrus, the former top laner for TSM and now a Variety streamer. A guy, by the way, who does exhibit personality archetypes of a depressive personality and has said he suffered with depression and mental health problems in the past, especially like stress and anxiety disorders from being popular and streaming and stuff like this. So, just have that in your head while I describe the scene in case you've not seen it. And Reginald was shouting at the back of his head while Dyrus was trying to ignore him and just play a game. And Reginald kept poking him and poking him and poking him, verbally, obviously, not physically, to prompt a reaction. And in the end, Dyrus snapped and, banged his fist and was like, I'm sorry, like, completely just broke his mental. And I remember saying about that, like, basically, if somebody who is your employer does that to you and essentially forces a confrontation out of you by trying to press your buttons, it's them who's being unprofessional. Also, in a power dynamic, it's them that can do that and then just fire you for the response. They wield disproportionate power over your life. That creates a stressful element because, as anyone who's worked a terrible job under a tyrannical bullying boss will tell you, you agree to do things that erode your self-esteem because you need to keep the money, because you know if you actually defend yourself and exhibit a backbone, you're going to get fired, you're going to get shit canned, and then you have to go home and tell the wife and kids, sorry, I wanted to preserve my dignity, so now little Timmy has to starve. It's not a nice feeling. It's one of the most stressful feelings you can ever have in your life. It's an erasure of self. It's an erasure of identity. And it's why people talk about workplace bullying like it's just a fucking throwaway thing that, you know, listen, we've all had shit jobs, we've all had shit bosses. It's one of the worst things you can do to another human being. It puts people under disproportionate amounts of stress. I read something not that long ago that said it's one of the biggest contributors to that male bracket, that like, I don't know, 20 to 21, 35-year-old male bracket having suicide as it's like the highest cause of death. It's one of the contributing factors, like the stress of work and not being able to push back against having to do things and work longer hours and unpaid overtime and maybe like even more foul, dark requests. It's a huge, serious deal that we don't talk about enough. So it's not just, oh, did your boss shout at you? Boo-hoo, suck it up, buttercup. You cannot defend yourself, and it's not for you, because if you're like me, and you're just a single guy, and your boss gives you shit, and you go, fuck you, stick this job up your ass, I come home, and guess what? I've still got a six-pack in the fridge, and I don't have to worry about my kids going hungry, right? But if you're a married man with kids, and you're the breadwinner, obviously I'm not saying segregated gender roles, only men make money or whatever, but if that is you can't push back. Workplace bullying is really fucking insidious. Only the worst kind of people do that shit to another human being and jerk off on the power fantasy it provides them with. And unfortunately, it all stems from the fact that, like a lot of people in esports, Reginald would have benefited from having a real job outside of esports before he blew up in esports popularity. That's the reality about that. I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I don't take this shit too seriously and I just stay true to myself is because I know inside of myself, like, it can't be as bad as working on a farm for £3 an hour. It can't be as bad as selling mobile phones to fucking crackheads in Middlesbrough. It can't be as bad as working in a cubicle for tech support. It can't be that bad. There's nothing I could do again in my life that would ever be as bad as where I came from. So fuck this. This is just a holiday, essentially. Like, this is great, even on its worst day. But these people, they blow up and they think they're fucking celebrities. They think they're Hollywood, you know? And so it's really fucking sad. But anyway, we saw that video of him essentially bullying Dyrus into a reaction. And I said, that is textbook bullying. If that happened in a workplace and you took that to HR in a sensible, functional workplace, so not like Riot Games or Activision Blizzard or any major games dev, you would have a slam dunk. That manager would be disciplined. You would be transferred team. You could quit the job, call it constructive dismissal. You'd get time off for mental health exhaustion. You would be supported. And I pointed that out. And what did the TSM fans say? No, actually, you know, you don't understand. Dyrus doesn't do the washing up in the frat house. So because Dyrus doesn't, what's Reginald supposed to do? Also, Reginald is, you know, he is trying to help Dyrus grow into a man. And I was like, what? What is going on? What are people talking about? There was just no world, objectively, where that was an appropriate level of behaviour. And then when you consider, it wasn't like a lapse. You used to see all the Bay live streams where Reginald would be drunk and super aggressive. You saw all the documentaries where Reginald would just say to people, that was shit, that wasn't good enough. You know, what was the name of their ADC? The one that didn't quite make it, but the really shy and meek kid. that he fucking shouted at? Wild Turtle, that's the motherfucker. Remember, you know, there was so many fucking examples. There were so many fucking examples of this shit. And every time the TSM fans were just completely complicit. Just ride or die. And every time Reginald had come out, and he'd give like some little glib trite apology about how nobody really understood the context. And again, the fans would just be like, yeah, listen, man, it's TSM. Bay life, bro. Bay life, bro. So how anybody can be surprised by all the shit that came out. And also, just the hilarity. The hilarity of the Riot Games are going to do an investigation. Well, okay. Let's just get the TSM investigation out the way. I love working in an industry, by the way, where whenever a serious topic is broached, all you have to do, if you're a popular entity in this space, to make it go away, is say we conducted an internal investigation with a third-party auditor that, you know, definitely has no loyalty to us, even though we pay them for this service. And they concluded that we did nothing wrong. And then everyone goes, oh, well, yeah, that's fine. It's not fucking fine. It's not fucking fine. You're essentially paying someone to investigate you. It's like one step removed from investigating yourself. So no, it's not fine. And it's all you have to do in esports. And then everyone goes, well, yeah, that's fine. Wash your hands. Wash your hands of it all. It's ridiculous. But then, so forget the fact TSM investigated themselves and found TSM did nothing wrong, and especially Reginald, who could do nothing wrong, despite all the video evidence of him doing things wrong, despite having a fucking president at the company that was fucking the staff. I mean, you know, by the way, let's just flip the genders on that one and see how we're all feeling about it. But no, okay, no big deal. I won't go down that rabbit hole. The chuds will come out. Is he talking about feminism? I'm not going to do it. Don't want the chuds here. So the idea that Riot Games are going to investigate anybody for bullying, mind you, I suppose you wrote the fucking handbook on how to do it, you cunts. So maybe, I suppose, you know, they can go, okay, well, yep, did you shout at him and berate him and reduce him to tears? Yep, you did that. Excellent. Yep. Did you emasculate him? Yep, you did. Okay, excellent. Did you bring him over and say, here, it's time for your review, and then fart in his face? Oh, you didn't do that, Reginald. Well, in future, perhaps, if you really want to get a reaction out of people, what we found is you basically get them to come over, and you say, oh, just see this here. It's written down on a piece of paper. And as they bend over at the last minute, you turn around and you guff in their chops, and that really upsets people. Okay, anyway, well, you know, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So the idea that Riot Games are going to be investigating anyone for this is fucking also hilarious. But let's also just get to the fucking other part, right? What can you do to TSM? Has anybody noticed what's going on with LCS? Because I'm guessing half of you motherfuckers don't even watch it now, right? I mean, has anyone noticed what's going on with LCS? Has anyone clocked? Has anyone peeped the viewership? Not doing so hot, is it, right? And it's crazy because, for me, it's the best esports broadcast. It's the best esports product. Its issue is, unfortunately, it's too clean. It's too polished. It's too safe. And that's never gonna last long in our industry. It's like it's getting Overwatch numbers. Not a good sign. Not a good sign for the world's most popular game. There's loads of solutions to fix it. But anyway, we'll get to that. But the LCS is having problems. Big problems. Can you imagine a world where, what are you going to do? Ban TSM? Ban Reginald, and Reginald says, all right, TSM, just don't compete in your league. You are going to do nothing. You are going to do nothing. You are going to investigate this. And in the same way, Riot Games, they said, oh, we actually did an investigation into TSM conduct around Lena's behavior. This doesn't pertain to whether or not it's a conflict of interest. She is fucking someone she employs. And everyone went, yep, see, they investigated it. It's not a conflict of interest. All the Rocket League morons were there. I am 12. I can't even spell conflict of interest. That's all that's going to happen again here. They're going to investigate it. They're going to come out with some like really milquetoast recommendation. Like, Reginald, if you could not shout at everybody and call them human trash, that would really help LCS out. Thanks. Okay, cool. Great talk. Good workshop. You know, that's what they're going to do. So wait for when that comes out. Now, the rest of this story. Oh, let me read you some of these things, right? The company based in Southern California, has 51 full-time employees. That's TSM, obviously not Riot. Although maybe that's all that'll be left soon. Who knows? Several of those employees told Wired that they were attracted to TSM because of its high status in the esports world and their personal fandom. Many became disenchanted by Din's alleged mental abuse, in one current employee's words. All requested anonymity for fear of career repercussions in the insular and tight-knit world of esports. The esports industry is really young and toxic, says one. Your relationship results in jobs more than anything else. Two sources say Din's close connections to other esports team owners and professionals has deterred current and former employees or players from pursuing accountability. Now look, how many times have I told you about the cartel? How many times? How many times do I have to say it? Who was the one, by the way, who, remember, my feelings on Chris Badawi are that he's a piece of shit. But they made up stories about him and made up lies about him to get him banned because they thought he had Martin Shkreli's pocketbook. The cartel struck. They did it to Rick Fox. They got his players essentially banned for things their players had done for years. They met with Riot employees at like a fucking taco stand to plan the whole fucking thing. Why? Because they felt threatened. I've told you about the fucking cartel. And now you have to kiss the ring for all of these guys. And that's the reality. They've done all sorts. They've agreed we're not going to pay above a certain amount. We've agreed that if a player who says something bad about one org, you definitely ain't getting picked up in any of the other big ones. I also, and I don't watch a lot of his content, and I won't get into reasons why, because I'll probably say some unpopular stuff, and that's totally not like me. But I watched that Hotshot interview he did with Dr. Special K. And, he was talking about the betrayal, and how he let down by his friends. They all fucked him over too, man. Ain't no love. The love's gone from the streets. There ain't no love in this business, homie. It's a fucking cartel, and you're either in it or you ain't. If you speak out against Reginald, you better be set. You better not need a favour, because he's vindictive. He's a spiteful cunt. And also, I should add, like everyone in esports, I've had beers with Reginald. I've had beers with Reginald in Vegas. And you know what? We got along. I think we might even have been sat in a limo together at one point having a drink. I can't even remember how that came about, and who knows. And you know what? He can't alpha me, and he can't bully me, and I don't work for him. So he was a lovely, sweet guy. He's a lovely, sweet guy. We had drinks. We shared some stories. So I'm not even saying this because I like some personal beef, like he's ever dissed me or ever done anything bad to me. I just know what he is, and that is he's basically a glorified frat boy that became a fucking CEO. There's no excuse for this shit still going on, by the way. He's 29 years old. You need to have your shit together by then. Anyway, let's keep going on. 4 individuals who've worked with TSM tell Wired that the esports organisation is dominated by a culture of fear. Classic culture of fear. Could be the title of the definitive esports book, that. As far back as 2013, they say Din was known to verbally abuse and yell at players and employees. He has called employees stupid or worthless. 2 sources say. 2 sources recall Din calling employees after hours to scream at them. 3 current or former TSM employees say that sometimes Din would ridicule employees for hours. His tirades were often prompted by minor mistakes. Other times, he yelled at employees in front of assembled colleagues as part of an exhibition, says one current employee that Din appeared to take pride in. One former employee recalled hearing Din say he wanted to make an example out of a person he berated publicly. A normal boss who thought you were doing a bad job would give you feedback. At TSM, it was like, this is trash. Again, we're operating on a very high-functioning intellectual genius. Imagine that. You're at Apple. Steve Jobs comes in. Yeah, it's about the new iPhone. Oh, yeah? What's that? This is trash. All right, Steve, I guess that helps me make a better product, doesn't it? Thanks. Bye. See you at the next microdose. Anyway, at TSM, the feedback was like, this is trash or you're awful, says one current employee. The employee estimates that there was a time when Din made somebody cry at least every other week. Current and former employees say that Din's management style contributed to attrition and stunted careers. Some employees were held back or held themselves back from pursuing promotions because they feared becoming Din's direct reports, 3 sources say. It's hard to really see a long-term future at TSM because that's what you have to look forward to, i.e. Reggie being your direct boss. Long-term employees understand that eventually there'll come a time when Andy wants to fire them and it'll be over something really small. Now, to Reginald's credit, he didn't offer a no comment because he never does. He can't. His ego won't let him, as you're about to see. He had somebody write an email for him. He had a grown-up write an email for him. And he says in the response to Wired, I know I need to work on my delivery. Oh, it's too good. Oh man, esports never change. Right, I know I need to work on my delivery, Din says, and I am working to improve the way I communicate with my team and those around me. I support and am fully cooperating with the independent investigations that are already underway and will gladly embrace any recommendations from the investigators. Din did not comment when asked about what specific actions he was taking to improve his communications or other behaviour. It then goes on to list all of the clips that are in the public domain. Says there, on YouTube there are several videos of Din arguing with or yelling at players. In one, League of Legends player Marcus Dyrus Hill is live streaming himself gaming. Din calls him a little bitch and a fucking brat. I know I need to work on my delivery. I know I need to work on my delivery. Story doesn't end there because why would it? It's TSM. Everything is a travesty whenever those guys get involved. Naturally, the story made it over to the official TSM subreddit, right? And you can see in that thread, he went through and specifically reacted to criticisms about things he had done on video to explain why they were either not that bad or that they were bad, but hey, I've apologized for that, so let's all just move on, even though I faced 0 consequences at the time. So, on his official Reddit account, called Reginald Bro, because remember, he is a CEO of a $410 million valued company. Hi, it's me, Reginald Bro here. Working on my delivery, bro. Anyway, he actually reacts to some of these clips, and we've talked about some. We haven't talked about others. I'll just read you this comment in its entirety because you'll see the pattern. I think context matters. Also, again, remember he had a grown-up help him write this. Grown-up bro. Adult bro came from the Reginald PR team and helped him write this. I think that context matters. Dyrus and I were friends for several years before he started working at TSM. He was my roommate, my teammate, and working for TSM in 2013. Today, we provide housing, cleaning, and a chef for our players. But back in 2013, we all lived together and chores were split evenly, from vacuuming, dishes, and taking out the trash. We're all young guys in our early 20s and teens. I raged at Dyrus because over the course of living with him for 2 years, he consistently did not do his own dishes or take out the trash. When Dyrus and other roommates did not do it, that responsibility fell on me, and oftentimes I would do my own chores and others on weekly basis. Right, so there you go. We've gone back in time. By the way, if you do get the Hovis bread advert reference. You're too old to be on the internet, Grandad. That's even before my time. Anyway, we have to feel sympathy for Reginald. Because remember, when people in his house, the gaming house that his business was paying for, that he lived in, working at the company he founded, he owned, and wielded a disproportionate amount of power in, it would be on Tim to do chores others wouldn't do. Sometimes twice as many chores in a day. We'll get back to the non-Yorkshire version. He put in brackets what the chores... He put what chores are in brackets. Probably useful, actually, for the average TSM fan who just sits there shitting into a tray like Cartman while Mummy brings in tendies. Chores include shopping, wiping the floors, trash, and more. Overall, I did not think it was the right time and place to talk to him, nor was my approach appropriate. The reality was that we did not have the finances to live separately and move apart either. The best solution now that I think about it, now, today, fucking 8 years later, when I self-reflect for the first time in a post written by Adult Bro, now that I think about it, it would have been to have him pay for a cleaning service for his days that he did not do chores. The reason why Dyrus isn't upset at me and is still my friend is because even though my approach was disappointing, I was upset for a valid reason. In many ways, guys, it was Dyrus's fault. And that is why Dyrus is still my friend, and not because I'm a domineering bully and an alpha type, and he is a beta type who seems to be loyal and thankful for the opportunities TSM afforded him. Next, yelling and making X Special cry, which was also referenced in the Wired article. We didn't explicitly talk about that one, but again, if you follow the history, you know what we're talking about. Back in 2011 to 2013, I was the shot caller, coach, and person that prepared almost every draft for our team. To give context, it takes anywhere between 1 to 4 hours to prepare a draft and scout, and that's at a minimum. Our match was against Dignitas, and I spent the entire night from 10 PM to 1 AM preparing. I woke up early to prepare our draft against Dignitas by myself, with some help from the odd one as well. Oftentimes, Alex, X Special, would help, but for those few weeks, he did not. I spent more time preparing drafts, so my teammates could relax and play solo queue to familiarise themselves with their champions. Good guy Reggie. He was the good guy the whole time in the story told by Reginald. Rise was extremely overpowered in this patch. Funny how shit goes around. Rise was extremely overpowered in this patch and was auto-banned if you're purple side. Basically at this time, if you get Rise, you just win. Both Dyrus and Alex didn't attend our morning meeting, but I was able to share our game plan with the team prior to the match. Going into Champion Select, Alex took charge and started telling Dyrus to ban several characters that did not follow our plan that I had spent hours of preparation on. We got out-drafted and lost. After the match, I went way overboard and screamed at Alex, which is something I regret. But, however, at that time, Game Cribs was also created to push views and stir up drama. I was painted in an extremely negative light, but Game Cribs never showed the times that I broke down and cried, or really all of the other fights where we would all just yell at each other. The community is looking at our relationship as an employer and employee, but we were brothers adulting together. Now, I'll just translate this into a way that probably makes sense for you all. We're just bros adulting. What he's saying there is that even though there's video footage of me behaving inappropriately, they never showed you video footage of the times I didn't behave inappropriately or other people behaved inappropriately while I was there. So in many ways, my inappropriate behavior should be forgiven, as in my brain, it is cancelled out by this other behavior that was not filmed. I can't, but like, bro, you're being investigated for being an inappropriate boss. Like, why is this public? Why could somebody like me just come along and put this on a stream and just read this and just cry with laughter at how ridiculous the whole thing is when you are a CEO of a $410 million company? Like, when are you going to start adulting, bro? Can we all fucking start? I'm more fucking socially developed. This is ridiculous. And I've got no reason to be. I own nothing. I've got books. Got a book collection. Game cribs was our largest form of income, and it was a combination of reality and script. The reality being all those times I behaved inappropriately. Yeah, all right. Cool, I guess. This was also the reason why I moved to the top position, so I could manage picks and bans. Overall, my communication was weak, and I regret my approach to problems. Yelling and getting angry was not effective. But at that time, I also didn't know how to communicate effectively. Now we'll just move on. So again, he didn't know how to do the thing that he really needed to do. And by the way, evidence points to the fact he still doesn't. Because it's now, at 29 years later, he's still being investigated for behaving this way. Man, adulting. We were just bros having a good adult. Then Acadian losing confidence. Because this is another thing that he's accused of, by the way, that he basically berated a player that was on their roster to the point where he couldn't even function and play his normal game because he was terrified of making mistakes and it was inside his head. So he had a really incompetent style of play and he's never really been the same since. He took great talent and essentially turned it into mediocre talent by just fucking smashing their mental to pieces. That's the standard prevailing sentiment in League of Legends. By the way, it's one that Thorin and Monty on their Summoning Insight podcast largely subscribe to, and I've got no reason to believe that they would be wrong in that assessment, given their extensive knowledge about the game and the scene. Anyway, during this time, TSM was constantly swapping between Grig and Acadian. I watched scrims and told our team that Acadian was not making good calls early game and consistently making bad plays, and I was quite disappointed. My feedback was not personal, he's put that in bold, and was directed at his gameplay. But it was still harsh. So, what that sentence reveals, by the way, is there is a world in Reginald's brain where coming to an employee and saying, your personality is fucking dog shit, is actually acceptable. Because why would it ever be personal? It's not your place to give me personality feedback, is it? You fucking melt. You're only here to talk about my gameplay. That's what I sell to you. Right? That's what I sell to you. It doesn't matter if I'm a piece of shit. Do I play well enough? You're getting my labour. You're getting my effort. You're getting my ability. I don't want feedback on whether or not, you really haven't given enough to charity this year for me to, keep you on the payroll. Oh, you shut the fuck up. So there's actually a world, by the way, where Reggie thinks he can give you feedback about your personality if you work for him, which he's unwittingly confirmed all of the allegations right there. He's a fucking idiot. Anyway, it was directed at his gameplay. And the other part of that sentence is, there's a world where he thinks, well, as long as I'm criticising your work, I can do it in any way I want and be as harsh as I want. And again, no, it doesn't work like that. Now, I did say on the audio podcast where I talked about this, the esports gospel, there are some worlds where you are allowed to tee off still. It's still considered acceptable. Like if you're a chef, we've all seen Gordon Ramsay, and for some reason, we all love it when he wrecks people because he's just, a lovable scamp, isn't he? But in general, especially in our young industry, this type of shit ain't gonna fly, homie. It never really flew back in the day either. You just got away with it because of your immense popularity. Our coaches and players also unanimously agreed at the time to play Grig over Matt. I apologise to Acadian for being the reason why he lost his confidence, agreeing with the premise it was me who made him lose his confidence, because it made him feel bad. This scenario is nowhere close to my behaviour in the two examples above. As a team, we will always give direct feedback to players around their gameplay and play the player that gives us the highest odds of winning. We will always look towards improving our delivery. However, having a direct and transparent culture will not change. So I will still be a cunt if I think you played trash. Love, Reginald, bro. There was one more part to this story I thought was funny. When this came up last time, and we did our Four Horsemen show about it, there was another quote in the Wired article, right? That somebody quoted on Twitter and Monty waded in. And by the way, can confirm. Two sources tell Wired that during the controversy, Din asked industry peers to vouch for him publicly on Twitter and make positive statements about him and his work. And then Monte Cristo's there saying, this is true. People also told me he contacted them to try to get them to say nice things publicly. And they did. If you remember, when we were doing our show, there was all these like comments about, oh, I've worked with Reginald and he's never done nought wrong to me, so he's actually good probably. There was shit like this. Working with TSM Reginald at TSM was my first experience in esports. It was an incredible experience to work with him in those early years. Although he was brash and blunt, he had a big heart and always cared for those around him, said Jack at the end. So, like, Reginald was literally going around, like, going, yeah, by the way, yeah, I think they're finally going to try and get me, so, can you just say some nice things to try and take the heat off a little bit? Then, by the way, blast from the past, somebody, I think I did a fucking podcast with them way back. Might even have been a guest on First Blood, if I remember. I mean, shit, that's like another lifetime, so. But Elements came out and responded and said, dude's been a bully from day one. Yeah, no, it's fucking old school shit. Dude's been a bully from day one. He never paid me out the TT tournament when I played with him. Would push blame and start fights. Even when I was coaching Coast, he'd insult our team, mock our pre-game cheers, etc. How many counts from his own players need to be brought to light? Then said, I went to Riot about the coaching harassment at the time and they didn't do anything. They told me to suck it up and it was part of the competitive environment, which was bullshit because that's a top team picking on an up-and-coming team, aka bullying. Now listen, I don't necessarily agree with Element's assessment there, but I remember, we might get into it actually because as well, I'm going to be having Odie on the Richard Lewis show, I feel like, this week. Because I feel that's like long overdue and obviously like it's, you know, it's nice to just get together with old guys and sort of shoot the shit. And me and him have been in the business now a long time. You know, if you consider Odie's in it before I'm in it and I've been in it 16 years. That's a lot of experience. But anyway, I remember Reginald trying to start a fight with Odie over some fucked up nonsense at like some meeting. I think it was when, I don't know, did like Dignitas beat them in a league and then dance or something? I can't remember. Oh no, it was over, Reginald said he was going to poach a player off Odie or something. I'll ask him about it anyway. I'll ask him to get his memory because Odie doesn't give a fuck now, so he'll definitely tell that story. But you know, it's like, how many excuses can you make for what is a string of year-long failures to behave appropriately? And it's sort of, listen, it does stick in my craw a little bit. I know lots of people in this industry that have, like, made one mistake, done one thing, it's ruined their whole career, or they never get free and clear of it, even if they've, like, appreciably improved as a person or made amends. And it just fucking sucks. It sucks. And listen, the other final part to it is all of the stuff in that Wired write-up is absolutely spot on, that this guy is pretty influential in the industry and does leverage that influence in a negative way. I've heard the stories too. Very hard if you're ever on the wrong side of these people to then go and work in the same space. It's why people don't speak out about it. And so Riot, push back just on that culture for starters. That would be good.